Yeah, so now let's just,
Wanna
our
get-
guest.
Yeah.
All right.
Intro him. I'll get his mic up.
So, yeah, this guy's been listening to the show for a bit. I told him that we'd get him on as soon as possible. He's one of my best friends. I've known him since grade 1. Obviously, he's a big sports fan. He's also played hockey, baseball. I believe he played soccer for a bit, too. He can correct me on that if I'm wrong. He's very passionate about Toronto sports teams. He likes to share his opinion in usually a very loud way. Most of the time, also getting rowdy about Jake Gardner's performance on the ice.
Oh, he's a Gardner hater?
Yeah. He's currently in first year at University of Ottawa. So now I'm pleased to introduce on the phone line now Mr. Tyler Moore, our very first guest on the
Second
SS.
guest. Remember that debacle we had?
Oh, well, that doesn't even count. That doesn't
Okay,
even count.
yeah.
Our first actual guest that we had some notice about.
True.
Tyler Moore. Tyler, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. You can't hear him?
I can't hear.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I got him now.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, we're doing great. We're really pleased to have you on the show today. Glad you could join us. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about a bunch of different things with you today. I know that you're pretty well-rounded when talking about sports. You know pretty much every single sport. So, is there anything you want to start off the top with? We're gonna talk about Leafs.
Yeah, you want to start with the Ted Lindsay, Alex Trebek stuff?
Yeah, sure. Let's start with that.
All right, so it's going to start off pretty sad, but we're going to ramp up to get a little happier. Last night, Alex Trebek, who's the host of Jeopardy, was announced that he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So he made that announcement last night in a video. We wanted to just say we're thinking of him.
Yeah.
We're both fans. He's a good Canadian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian icon, honestly. And yeah, we wanted to talk a bit about Ted Lindsay. He passed away this past week.
Monday,
93.
Yeah.
He is most famous for playing in the NHL, but also he was a major founder of the PWHA, which is or not PWHL. What am I saying? NHL Players Association,
Yeah,
NHLPA.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we figured big hockey guy. We should probably acknowledge the fact that everything he's done.
He's a
and
9-time NHL All-Star.
There you go.
He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1966. He was only a small guy too. Kind of like Mitch Marner in some way.
Yeah.
5'8", 160 pounds. He played for Detroit, Chicago. I read that he retired, and then he returned to Detroit later on in his career.
Yeah.
And also the Ted Lindsay Award goes to the most outstanding player in the regular season, voted upon by members of the NHLPA.
Which means more to the players than
To
the media
the league,
voting
yeah.
on whatever.
Exactly.
So yeah, Tyler, you got any thoughts on Ted Lindsay?
Well, yeah, it's obviously sad to hear that he's passed away. It's sad to hear when any legend passes away. But I think his legacy will live on through his award. And I've heard talks in the past of them changing the names of awards. But, I mean, when you look back at the impact that some of the guys have had, I think it'd be a pretty tough thing to do. So I hope they don't change it so his name can live on for 3 years after his passing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was pretty well said. So, enough of the sad stuff, I guess. What do you want to talk about, Tyler?
Whatever you want. We can start Leafs if you want. I've notes here. We can start days. Whatever you want.
Yeah, let's just go Leafs because that's recent. That's on the top of our heads.
Yeah.
Tough loss for the Leafs yesterday. For those of you that don't know, the Leafs lost 3-2 to Vancouver Vancouver in overtime. Alexander Edler scored the game-winning goal on a shot from basically the blue line that beat Frederik Andersen. Didn't look too good on that.
More top of the circle, if we're being honest, but
In
okay.
between. No, in between.
In between, sure.
And closer to the boards too. So, Leafs played well.
Yeah. That shot was a tough shot to save. It was like that perfect spot just above the pad, too far for the glove to get.
I guess it's
Was the-
positioning.
Yeah.
Did you, Tyler, did you watch the game or did you watch any highlights?
I just watched the highlights this morning.
Okay.
Anderson looked like he had a really good game. I think he would probably like the overtime winner back if he could.
Yeah.
Besides that, he made a few really clutch saves for them, and yeah.
Yeah, it's basically what happened. Anderson looked good all night. Was rough on the last goal, and that cost him, but...
Yeah, the shots were even, basically. I think they were like 31-29 for the Canucks. But, yeah, Leafs played well. They got off to a good start. Big short-handed goal by Ron Hainsey, set up beautifully by Mitch Marner.
Yeah, what was he doing there?
What was who doing there?
Hainsey.
Hainsey, I mean, he just decided to join the rush for once.
It's so risky at his age and his speed level.
Yeah, that's for sure. Also, they got a goal from Morgan Riley soon after that.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good goal.
It's a bit of a weak one on Markstrom, but...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
he probably should have had it.
Yeah, well, Anderson could have had one as well,
Yeah.
so I guess it evens out. Then we got some Vancouver goals in the third period. It was Josh Levo who ended up tying the game 2-2 off a great shot against his former team.
Yeah.
Going back to bite us.
Yeah.
You knew it would happen. Every Leaf that comes back home after some sort of controversy always does well.
Yeah, they have to. That's just how Toronto sports work.
Yeah, I'd like to get your thoughts on that, Tyler. When that trade happened, did you agree with what the Leafs were trying to do there with Levo, or do you think that they should have kept him around and maybe gave him a better shot?
Well, our forward depth is so good. I always liked Levo. I think he's a capable third-line guy in the NHL. But I don't disagree necessarily with trading him. They said if he wasn't getting playing time, they would trade him, and I think that's only fair to him. It shows a lot of respect for him as a player. But I was just more disappointed with the return for the trade. I don't think we got anything for him. I think it was just basically a dump when I think he's a capable player that should have got at least a mid-round draft pick in return rather than just some older AHL forward. But I don't necessarily disagree with the trade. I don't think our team's hurting without him. But I just thought we could have gotten more for a player like him.
Carcona has been doing pretty well in the AHL, for being honest. And I think he's younger than Levo as well. He's only like 22, 23.
I thought he was older. I thought he was like 24, 25.
He might be older, yeah. I think he's older. Yeah, I agree that they could have got a lot more. And I still think that they should have kept him around and maybe risked putting someone on waivers, like one of their defensemen instead. Because Josh Levo is a great depth scorer in this league, and he would be a great player for the Leafs to have in their playoff run coming up. He's also got size to him as well. He could play on the power play. I know that they got a lot of good talent on forward, and they got a lot of depth, but he would have been a player that the Leafs could use this year and also next year.
Yeah, Carcone is 22. But
Okay.
like, yeah, his birthday's in a couple months, so I'll be 23 in May. But
And he's doing well this year?
yeah, I think he's been doing pretty well.
Okay.
He had a good start with the Marlies. I think it was a pretty decent pickup. They already, as you said earlier, they wanted to, like they said, if they weren't going to play Levo, they'd ship him off. So they were sort of tough between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I thought they got some decent value back for him. But again, you can't really replace Josh Levo. He was a capable scorer.
He could be a 20-goal scorer for sure, at least.
Oh, definitely. He's been tearing it up
In
with
Vancouver, yeah.
Besser and Pettersson.
Well, because he's playing with those guys. Like the Leafs, if he was on the Leafs, he wouldn't be playing with
No,
like
he'd be
Matthews
fourth
or anyone.
line.
Yeah, he'd be fourth line. But like I said, next year, you never know. He could have got a chance to play with Austin Matthews.
Yeah, I just think the Leafs didn't really have a choice, and they weren't going to waste another year of his career to just have him
That's what they
maybe play next year.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, because apparently in the summer, Kyle Dubas talked with Levo, saying that if there wasn't a spot for him on the team, and if he was getting scratched every night, and that's what happened when Nylander came back. He would be getting scratched. So Dubas just said, yeah, if that happens, we'll trade you. We'll find a place for you to go, and that's what they did. I still think they could have got more back, but that it is what it is. And Levo comes back yesterday and he scores the tying goal, and then it leads to a overtime winner by Alex Edler. I was pretty upset in this after the game because it's a game the Leafs should have won, and I know that they hadn't coughed up a lead heading into the third period this season, and I think they're like 32-1 now. But I'm thinking, like, it's against Vancouver. They're not a good team. It's 2-0 heading into the third. You have to keep that lead, especially because Boston is winning every single game that they play. They're so hot right now. They have to stay on pace with Boston because they're going to get home ice advantage by the looks of it. And that's just a game that the Leafs should win. I know, Connor, what are your thoughts on that? I already know your thoughts, but
I think Boston's about to fall off pretty hard because you saw the Johansson stuff that came out this morning or yesterday.
I don't know if that's going to be a big impact to them because they just got him. They just got Johansson, and they were playing well before they got him too. I don't know how well he's done so far in a couple of games with them. It's going to be a loss. I don't know if it'll be a big downfall. Tyler, did you see the hit?
No, I didn't. I was wondering what happened.
I forget the player.
I can't remember the player.
Oh, was it Furland? I think it was Furland.
Maybe. He got hit basically right in the ribs, and it caused a lung contusion.
Oh, wow.
Whatever that means.
So, yeah, I think he's week to week.
Probably. I'd assume so if you injure your lung.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of tough to play a sport where it requires a lot of breathing.
Unless you're Bergeron.
Yeah.
Was it that injury or the dislocated shoulder that caused him to get pulled from the finals, Stanley Cup final?
I think wasn't it both at the same time? Like, wasn't
that was at the same time?
With lung and a dislocated shoulder, and I think something with his hand too.
Wow, I didn't remember that. I thought it happened.
That was against this was against Vancouver too. Talking a lot about the Canucks here.
Yeah, I know. Probably too much. So, you're in Ottawa.
Yep.
I assume you see a lot of Sun stuff. What do you make of the Boucher firing?
Fair amount.
What do you think of the Boucher firing?
That was weird to me right from the start. It seems like a very odd time. The team's already falling apart, crumbling around them, and then with 20 games left, they fire. I mean, it was obvious he was going to get fired, but I just don't see the point of firing him with 20 games left in a season just to mess up their locker room even more. I think it could have waited till the end. It's not like they're trying to win games down the stretch. I mean, in a way they are. They don't really want to give Colorado that first overall pick, but at the same time, I don't really see the point of just shaking things up like that when everything's already so rocky.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I know that you were listening to a bit of Dorian's interviews with the media.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so he said I was listening on Monday because like when the news broke on Friday that they fired Boucher, I was surprised because Dorian said on Monday that he's made Guy Boucher's job difficult and we're going to support him. So 4 days later, they fire him and says that what did they say? What was the quote that he said? Do you remember?
His exact quote was, "Guy and I had a relationship, and I really enjoyed that relationship." Could not be more vague or less interesting. I think that was one of the worst quotes I've ever heard in my life.
I think that it was a bit of a mercy firing.
Yeah, for sure.
It was here. I've screwed the team enough now. Just go and try to find another job.
Yeah, I guess. But now you've hired Mark Crawford. Now he's got to deal with it. I guess he was already part of it before.
Who cares about Mark Crawford?
Yeah, he's not going to be back. He will not be the coach of the Ottawa Senators.
No.
We don't really need to talk about coaching candidates for now. No. I don't know if anyone would want to accept that job.
Mike Yu might take it.
Mikey. Yeah.
He's pretty
Well,
desperate, I think, at this point.
Randy Carlisle.
Carlisle, yeah.
Oh boy.
I could see Carlisle doing that.
I don't know.
I think that'd make a lot of sense, actually.
Why?
Well, he's got a history of rebuilds, so bringing a guy who's used to doing rebuilds.
When was the last time he's actually had like a good season though?
Never.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Stanley Cup year.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was his first run with
It
Anaheim.
was over a decade ago.
Yeah. But yeah, he was awful with the Leafs, awful with the Ducks this go around. I don't know if the Sens would want, and he's kind of getting up there in age too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Sens would want to bring him in, or they would want a younger guy to lead them on a rebuild. If I'm the Sens, I'm going after Joel Quenneville,
Oh god.
but I don't think he would want to go to the Sens.
You're dreaming if you think you're gonna get him.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the AHL team, Belleville?
Oh no, I would put AHL lines because their NHL lines are basically AHL lines at this point.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure because I wrote down like a bunch of AHL players. I was like,
Oh no.
but they got a decent AHL team though. They got Abramov, Batherson, Eric Brandstrom.
Well, I got their NHL lines here.
Okay.
So I want to challenge Tyler. You have to guess which line this is on their Daily Face-Off page.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Okay.
So we're gonna go with Zach Smith, Oscar Lindberg, Magnus Pajärvi.
Second line.
Wait, can I guess too?
Yeah.
Zach Smith, Magnus Pajärvi. I'm gonna say that's line. Who's the center?
Oscar Lindberg.
Jeez, that's gotta be like. It's gotta be 4. That's gotta be 4.
It's a 4 on most teams, but it's their second line.
That's their. Oh my. Jeez.
It's,
Oscar Lindberg is their second line center.
and what's even crazier
Oscar
is
Lindberg.
their third line is better than their second line. They got Duclair, Pajot, and Bobby Ryan on their third line.
Jeez, you just told us the answer there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's pretty
Bobby
obvious.
Bobby Ryan on the third line. Wow.
Yeah. As opposed to Lindbergh, Smith, and Pajärvi. Wasn't Smith the guy who they literally waived earlier in the season?
Zach Smith.
Yeah.
And now he's their second line left winger.
That's yeah.
Anyone
Who's
notice
first line? Kachuk.
Tierney and Colin White.
Oh
Oh
god.
my goodness.
Chris Tierney. Ooh, wow. Best first line center in the league. And what's their fourth line? It's got to be pretty bad.
Rudolph Balcers,
Don't know who that is.
Brian Gibbons,
Yeah.
Mikhail Bodker.
Mikhail Bodker's on the fourth line?
Blocker?
Yeah.
He could be on the first line. Damn.
Yeah. They have a
That.
okay right side, I guess.
Uh,
If you want to find some sort of positive out of it.
yeah, it's not a very good forward core at all.
Their fourth line is ranked 11th in the league, actually.
well,
for fourth lines, which
because,
isn't
maybe because of Bodker.
because of, yeah. And then their first line and second line are ranked 31st.
Are the Leafs ranked like 1 on fourth lines?
Probably. I just have a picture of it. I can look it up.
I think so. Yeah, they should be like top 5. They're really good. They've been hot lately. Ennis with the hat trick a couple days ago. Trevor Moore's been doing good as well. Tyler, you're not related to Trevor Moore at all, right?
I had that in my notes. I was going to talk about him. And
Oh, okay.
No relation, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, it's nice to see him back up. I liked him the few games he played when he came up. It's nice to see him playing again. Also, shout out to Nick Patan scoring in his debut against the Sabres.
Scored a goal.
He was, goalless in 13 games with Winnipeg this season, and he comes in and scores in his first with the Leafs, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, he found the opening there, and he fired it home. That was a good play by him.
Nice shot, one-timer.
Yeah, exactly. How did he play yesterday? Do we know how he played yesterday?
They were okay. Babcock didn't like him because, of course.
Yeah. Babcock didn't seem like it was the best idea before the game, too. Because obviously Gautier's pretty good. He's arguably better. Well, he's better defensively than Patan. I don't know if he's good defensively, but he's better than Patan. And he's good on the PK. I don't know if Babcock's going to do that line again, though. I think he just had to try it. He just had to get Patan in there again. and see what that line could do because they've been good and they've been flying and they're fast. I think Gauthier is going to be their fourth line center for the stretch run.
Unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Oh my god, Petain is so much better than Gauthier.
Yeah, but they're completely different players. They already have those two guys on the wing. Like, you got to have some balance too, right?
What's the balance? A guy who can't skate
Like, you
on your
need.
fourth line?
I mean,
I'd rather have a bullet,
Yeah?
like 3 bullets as opposed to 2 bullets in a goddamn freight train.
I guess. But,
Who plays
I'm
like
with you.
plays like a toy car.
really? Okay. All
Guy
right.
doesn't run. The guy doesn't hit.
Does Petain play on the PK though?
Gauthier doesn't.
He's been playing on the PK.
6 or 7 shifts all season.
Really?
Yes.
On the PK. I don't know. He's been playing PK more often, like now, like since Lindholm got traded.
They got Patrick Marleau, or not Patrick Marleau. They got Mitch Marner. They got Zach Hyman, Connor Brown, Kasperi Kapanen.
Okay. True. That's
their penalty killing lines.
Yeah. If Petain can prove that he can do something on the fourth line, then yeah, I'll keep him there. I still think that they're gonna give Gauthier some more chances though.
Probably, unfortunately. Let's go from one terrible team in the Ottawa Senators to another. The Edmonton Oilers. Jesse Puljujarvi.
Boy.
Yeah.
That's
He's done, right? He's done for the season.
That's his time with the Edmonton Oilers over, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's out for the season for sure, right?
Yeah.
And he hopes to be back for training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no way he's gonna request a trade.
How much do you get for Puljujarvi though? Like, can
Connor
they
Brown?
Can they get a good return? That was we were
Connor
talking
Brown,
about that.
hopefully.
Um.
Connor Brown and Nikita Zaitsev package deal.
Oh, I'd be so down for that.
That's never gonna happen. If that
let us
if that
dream.
happened, I would be the happiest Leafs fan in the world. But
Just-
there's no way that trade ever comes close to happening.
You're probably right, but I can dream, can't I?
You can. That's what being a Leafs fan is, right?
Exactly.
Just a bunch of dreamers. One day they can win the cup, hopefully.
Yeah. Where do you think he's gonna end up?
Puljujarvi?
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, it's a really tough situation for them because if they trade him now or in the off season, they realistically they do not get very much for him. But at the same time, I think they have to trade him. I don't see how things can be turned around for him in Edmonton without it. I think it just needs a change of scenery to turn around.
This I'm not sure because this could also be like a Dylan Strome situation because he wasn't obviously working out well at all in Arizona. He goes to a good team in Chicago and he turns his career around.
He's a point-a-game player.
Yeah, he's playing really well. And I used to hate on Dylan Strome. Like I always thought he was going to be a bust. He's on my fantasy team now. I always have to plug in my fantasy team. Yeah, my team's winning this week. You know, we got playoffs coming up next week. Dylan Strome and the Jesse Puljujarvi, he could turn into a better player if he plays on a team like Chicago when he's playing top 6 minutes with, you know, Patrick Kane and DeBrincat and Taves. I don't know. It's risky because no matter what no matter who they trade him to, they're not going to get enough value back for him because he has no value right now because he hasn't even been playing. And he has potential. He's only like 21. Like he's only going to get better. He could get way better.
He was the Matthews draft, so 2000. He's
Yeah,
21.
jeez. Yeah, like if he goes to the Leafs, like jeez.
Who says no to this trade? Jake Muzzin and Connor Brown for Jesse Puljujarvi and Oscar Klefbom. Other than Jake Muzzin and Connor Brown, of course. Other than those two.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Fair trade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Puljujarvi.
That's not happening though.
No, it won't. But again, we can dream. Devils have had some injury issues in the past week or so. Mirko Mueller, as we mentioned last week.
He's skating again.
He's skating again?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Taylor Hall, he had surgery.
He's questionable to return this year.
He won't come back. They're not going to risk it.
I mean, why not though?
Well, because they're out of the playoffs, you might as well tank.
They are. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Good. Not risking it.
And then Nico Heischer is day-to-day.
With what?
I cannot remember.
I didn't see that, actually. Nico Heischer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's anything big.
Tyler, you heard anything about that?
No, not really. It could just be the flu, maybe.
I know that some player, Joe Pavelski, is dealing with the flu.
Yeah, a bunch of guys are sick right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's questionable for tonight against Montreal. And he's been hot. Like, he's got, I think he's got 2 hat tricks in the past week, maybe?
Wow.
So, yeah, he's been good. All on the power play, though. Like, he just taps it in on the power play. And he's one of the best guys at tipping pucks in the league. He's really good at tipping. So, yeah, do we have an update on that Heischer thing?
They have Heischer with an upper body injury. They're saying he didn't play last night, or on Tuesday, and they're saying he's not going to travel with the team on their road trip. So he'll be out a couple games.
Okay.
At least.
Tough loss, but like Connor said, they're not in the playoff race, so I guess there's not really a rush to bring those guys back. I guess for the fans, you'd like to see Taylor Hall come back soon and play and just know that he's healthy. Also, isn't Palmieri injured too?
Yeah, I was just going to say Palmieri, lower body injury.
Yeah. Yeah, all their best guys are down.
He's going to travel with the team, though. So.
Okay.
That's a good sense of
will
positive.
most likely play.
Kyle Palmieri's had a career year as well.
Really?
But I think when Hall got injured, he kind of dropped off. But yeah, he's been one of their best players.
Yeah, 26 goals, 50 points.
That's a really good year for him.
Yeah. All right, are we do we want to talk at all about the Tavares return?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that happened last Thursday. We teed it up before our last during our last episode. And it was kind of what were your thoughts on it, Tyler?
I was disgusted by the actions of the Islanders fans. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
I don't know who put it out. Yeah. Oh yeah, you talked. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I was. I don't see why they have to treat him that way. Did either of you see Sean Avery's take on it?
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Yeah, obviously we can't repeat that on air.
He didn't get arrested?
Yeah.
I agree with Sean Avery 100%. What is Tavares supposed to say during the season? He's not going to say, "Yeah, guys, I'm leaving in the summer. See ya."
Yeah.
He has to just play out the year. He gave them everything. I don't see why when players leave in free agency they become the devil to the team. It's just not fair. He wanted to go play for his childhood favorite team, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, they shouldn't be happy that he left, but he does not deserve jerseys thrown at him, snakes on the ice.
That jersey throw.
Booze during his tribute video. I think it was just wrong.
I think the boos were fine. It was just the throwing stuff that went over the top.
Especially the jersey throw. Why even do that?
It's just stupid.
Like that fan needs to be banned from the arena or something. Like that's.
I hope he was.
That's awful.
And
move. if it hit him too, oh god, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, the booing during the tribute video, and even after when Tavares went to salute the fans and salute like the players on the other bench, still boos and they meet again in New York or in wherever they're located. Brooklyn. They meet again on April 1st.
They play again.
They play again.
I thought they were done for the season.
I thought they were too, but no, they have to go back to Brooklyn, and it's going to be the exact same thing, I think.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be as bad.
Maybe, are we on the second night of a back-to-back with Sparks in the net?
I hope not, or that's just bad scheduling by the NHL right there.
They're just stacking it against us. They want us to lose. That was, that was a rough game.
I can look it up, but I don't think it is. But yeah, I think it's going to be the exact same thing. Why wouldn't it be?
Because it was I think they sort of got it out of their system, and they're still going to be booing. Like, they're going to do the same thing the Leafs did still do to Phaneuf for no good reason, which is boo him every time he touches the puck. But
The Leafs are not on a back-to-back. This is a Monday night. They'll have 1 day of rest. The Islanders will also have that day of rest, so both teams will be rested.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a very bad, horrible atmosphere in that game. I think Tavares handled it well. He had a bunch of scoring chances as well. He could have buried some on the power play early on. He could have had a hat trick.
The team just didn't show up for him.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you got Garrett Sparks in the net, and also you're missing Dermott and Gardner. Tyler, do you want to let out any frustration about Jake Gardner, or you good?
I'm great lately. He's been injured.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to watch him play.
Games. I mean, although I don't think watching Marincin skating around out there is much better. I mean, I will admit, this stretch of games he hasn't been terrible. He's made some plays, but just I don't know why Babcock seems to favor Marincin over even Ozhiganov sometimes.
It's handedness.
It kind of puzzles me.
I think it comes down to handedness ultimately, because Marincin shoots left, the other two guys shoot right.
But he favors Ozhiganov over Hall as well.
Yeah.
I see why, because he's played a lot more than Hall. I really like Justin Hall as a player. I like his size. I like his mobility. I think Ozhiganov is more like Zaitsev in some way. He kind of just doesn't know what he's doing out there. At least Hall kind of knows what he's doing. And he's played well in the couple of games that he's played. I still question Babcock for why he sat him out the entire year. That's just the dumbest thing in my opinion. If you got rested guys on the bench every single night, even like during a back-to-back, why not put those guys in and get them some games? Because when they come in, they're not ready. They might not have the best games because they haven't been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies for interrupting you, by the way. I don't know. Hull is more offensive, and I guess he wants a more defensive defenseman with Dermott on the third D pairing. Is the only sort of logic I can see in not playing him.
That's true. Hall and Dermott, if I remember correctly, they played last year together in those couple games, and they played well.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't play him. It's just, again, another Babcockism.
Do we want to talk about... We're 20 minutes left here in the show. We got quite a few stuff to get through still. Sparks signed a contract. Borgman signed a contract. 1 year, $700K, two-way deal for Borgman. I think that's a good deal, locking up another defenseman, because the Leafs are going to need defensive depth heading into next year. With Gardner might be leaving.
Gardner will be leaving.
Probably, yes, chances are. And Garrett Sparks, 1 year, $750K. Why not? I like the deal.
I love both the deals.
Yeah. And also Callie Rosen. We want to talk about him a bit. He's dealing with a foot injury. It's said not to be serious. He should be back soon. I don't know if the Leafs are going to call him up.
I think they might.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. I would love to see him in the NHL this season. I think he deserves it. Second in scoring in the AHL. I think he should be called up as soon as he's healthy.
Where do you think he plugs into the lineup if he gets called up?
Is he right-handed or left-handed?
No, he's left-handed.
Of course he is. I don't know. I don't. You can't. I mean, he plays like a top four defenseman, but I don't think you can just throw him in the top four like that.
If they put him with Zaitsev, that would be bad. They don't put him with Zaitsev.
Yeah.
I say you should put him with Muzzin. Muzzin can play the offside. And then leave. No, do you think that they should put Riley and Muzzin together again?
No, I think they should throw Dermott on the right.
Dermott and Rosen. But this is because Dermott's not healthy yet. So I'm saying.
I guess. So I think you should go third pairing left D, pull Marincin out of the lineup, have him and Igor together. So Rosen can go much more offensive as opposed to Igor, who can stay back a bit. Allows Rosen to be the player he is, and doesn't really screw with any of the other pairings higher up in the lineup.
Sure. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I still think that he should get in the top four role eventually because he deserves it. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
You want to move on to some soccer?
Let's go.
All right. So TFC had the first game. I don't know if you watched it, Tyler.
I was able to catch the highlights.
Able to catch the
I didn't
highlights.
watch it live.
Yeah. Michael Bradley had an unbelievable game. 2 goals. It's his first time he scored since the famous Montreal-Toronto playoff series, which was unbelievable.
I watched that a bit, yeah.
Nick DeLeon, he scored his first with TFC. He looked good. I thought it was a great game for TFC.
Did they play at home or on the road?
Road.
Road.
They played in Philly.
In Philly.
Yeah. And then it got announced that Pozuelo has officially signed with Toronto FC. He 4-year, $4.5 million salary. He's 27. The transfer fee, as per this week in MLS on Instagram, is $11.4 million. I believe that's dollars. Really good signing, in my opinion. He'll join March 18th once the Belgian season's over. And I'm happy with it. Tyler?
Yeah, I'm happy with it too. I think he's a similar player as Vasquez was for them. I watched some highlight videos of him, and he looks like a quite a good player. He's 25 goals, 60 assists, and 175 appearances with Genk in Belgium. I see him as a creative player that can make a pass and also score a goal every once in a while, and I think he'll fit well behind Altidore.
Yeah. And then they also said TAM. So they're going to target anyone except a striker, apparently, which makes sense because they got Hamilton, Boyd, Altidore, and Akinola as out-and-out strikers, so why not pick up any other position? You got any preferences?
I think you can never have enough depth at center back, to be honest. You never know with injuries in soccer, and I would be fine with seeing kind of a veteran-ish, established center back come in.
Yeah.
Is Philly a good team?
They're pretty decent now. They picked up Marco Fabian, who's a Mexican international. He played in the Bundesliga for Frankfurt, I believe.
Okay.
So he's pretty decent. And then they got they're pretty good. Yeah.
So are you confident? So this is a question to both of you guys. I think with Pozuelo signing now, do you guys think that like TFC could possibly like win the championship this year? Do you think like that's really a big enough addition to make a run, or do you think they need to make some more moves? Or are you confident with this group?
Yeah, there's always a chance. I think they still need to bring in a couple of guys because their formation's messed up. They don't really have a game plan yet.
Okay.
Greg Vanney wants to play a wide formation, similar to a Manchester City style, which they can't do right now because they have 0 wingers other than their recent MLS Superdraft acquisition, which I can't remember his name, and Schackelberg, who's a TFC 2 Academy guy. So they need to bring in wingers if they want to do that, but
okay. Tyler?
they could.
I think they'll be more competitive this year. Obviously, they're going to miss Giovinco quite a lot. They haven't really effectively replaced him. They've replaced Vasquez with Pozuelo. I think Boyd really needs to step up and become a kind of what Ricketts was, or even better, just that backup striker option that can come in and score a clutch goal every once in a while. Especially with Giovinco out, I think Boyd needs to get close to double-digit in goals to make up for that. And once Altidore's back, he needs to be that really solid number one striking, finishing option, which I think he can be. He's shown it in the past, and I think he, with Pozuelo feeding him the ball, I think he'll be able to score quite a few goals. Like he'll need 15 to 20, maybe even a little bit more if we want to be competitive. But I think this year will be a lot better than last year.
Awesome.
Said it perfectly. Really quickly before we move on, Euro Champions League. I don't know if you've been watching that. Real Madrid beat Ajax. PSG beat Man United. Or Or Ajax beat Real Madrid.
Real Madrid.
Man United beat PSG, and Porto beat Roma, which is crazy.
Huge upset.
Yeah.
Real Madrid is out.
Ajax 4 goals in the Stadio Bernabeu, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
That was Of course, DAZN has the coverage, and I don't have it, so
you can't see any of the highlights either.
Yeah, you can't see any of the highlights. But I thought, it's insane. Sergio Ramos had that was really stupid what he did in the first leg, but
What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
He got a yellow card, which just suspended him for the second leg.
Oh.
Yeah, so that really hurt
And
them.
they're investigating as to whether or not it was intentional that he got. They think he got it intentionally so that he would be suspended for the second leg.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, it comes back to bite them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dortmund. Tottenham got through on a 4-0 on aggregate. And as I said in the notes, nobody cares. All that matters is the Ajax game. So yeah, you want to move on to NBA NBA, MLB, or NFL?
Oh gee. Okay, we got 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's. The Jays are on right now. I don't know how they're doing.
They are.
We can talk all of them. We can start with Jays, I guess. They're spring training right now. We're talking a bit about Vladdy Guerrero last week. Is he gonna start on the team or not? Tyler, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think the Jays need to do there? It looks like they're obviously not gonna start him on the team because of the whole contract issue with Guerrero. When do you think is the right time to call him up?
Well, this spring he hasn't been amazing. I think his average is 280, 290, something around that. So he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't really been tearing the cover off the ball.
Right.
Regardless of that, he's better than Drury at third for sure. And Drury is going to be most likely opening day third baseman. But I think they call him up the earliest possible date. If he's doing well, like I think he will in AAA, they call him up earliest possible date to get that extra year of the team control, and just go from there. I think fans need something exciting in the lineup this season. Just looking around the roster, you don't see many people that make you go, wow, I'm excited to see him. So I think they need someone like Guerrero in the lineup to generate interest around the team. So I definitely think he'll be up. If he performs well, he'll be up as soon as possible.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think as soon as that window closes, they'll call him up. Also, we received some breaking news right after our show ended last week. Yeah. Bryce Harper signed a massive $330 million contract with the Philadelphia Phillies.
13 years, no opt-out.
No opt-out, no trade clause as well. So he is stuck there. And yeah, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. It literally just broke as we ended. My first thoughts on that was Harper is in it to win it with Philadelphia. 13 years, like you said, no opt-outs, no trade clause. He is there for the long run, and he wants to bring a championship to Philadelphia. Right now, Philadelphia is not in a contender kind of... they're not a contender. Obviously, getting Bryce Harper will help them out a lot, but they still need to get some other pieces to surround him with. There was... I don't know if you saw the Mike Trout thing. Apparently Harper's recruiting Mike Trout. And I think MLB's looking into that, or they might fine him or something.
Probably for tampering.
Yeah, I don't think tampering is like too harsh as like NBA. But yeah, I think Harper could definitely get a fine or something there. What are your thoughts on him going to the Phillies?
I thought it was a really good signing for them. The average annual value is quite low at 25. I mean, I think that's what he's worth. I didn't think he was worth the same or more than Machado is. It's just he gets this contract based off of his 2015 MVP season. He's been a good player since then. He's been a very good player since then, but he hasn't been amazing since that historic MVP season. So he kind of gets his contract on the back of that. I think he will do very well throughout his career. But I really like $25 million a year. I think that's perfect value for him. It's just what's lacking for him is the defense. He is kind of a liability in the outfield defensively. He has a good arm, but he just can't seem to
Catch the
put
ball.
his defense together. Maybe they'll straighten him out in Philadelphia, but who knows? I think that's just the main thing that's holding his value back.
And also, no DH as well.
Yeah.
So so he has to play the field.
He does.
Also, his average isn't or hasn't been the same as it was in that MVP season.
No.
I think he hit below 250 last year.
Just right around league average.
Yeah. So he's paid to hit home runs though, and he does a great job of that. So yeah, I like the pick. I like the average value, like you said. So we're gonna move on to some basketball quickly. We got 5 minutes left here. You're listening to the SS Live here on Spirit Live. We're gonna try and cram some NBA and also some NFL because we did say that we are gonna talk Antonio Brown a bit. Let's go NBA though.
Okay, we got 4 minutes. We're gonna blow through NBA in 2 minutes and then NFL in 2. Let's do it. Raps Houston. Yeah, that was a game. That was Raptors. Meh. Could have played better.
They didn't show up for that game.
Their starters played pretty well. Their bench was terrible. Jeremy Lin needs to make a 3. He's like 1 for 13 in field goals sort of thing. So that needs to happen. Raps are going to play Houston in Tokyo for 2 games in October, which is kind of crazy. They're going to be preseason. And then last night, LeBron passed MJ for 4th in all-time points.
I saw that.
Tyler, what do you think?
Emotional.
Congrats to him. I think the season that the Lakers have been having has been tough. But this is kind of puts a smile on his face in a way. I don't know if he'll be considered the best of all time at the end of his career, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, he's got ways to go to that number 1 spot for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on pace to do it. I haven't really looked into that.
I thought I saw it would take him like over 200 games at his current average point per game.
Okay, so that's definitely reasonable.
He's in his 30s, so I guess it's possible, but it's going to be tough.
Well, definitely it'll be tough to, like, all-time points. That's definitely hard to pass. He can pass Kobe. I think Kobe's 3rd on the list.
Yeah, he's in like 40 games sort of thing.
Okay.
At his current, again, average point per game.
So that's good. Yeah.
So if he avoids any serious injuries, he'll at least pass Kobe at the bare minimum.
I feel kind of bad for LeBron though. It hasn't been his ideal first season with the Lakers.
No.
I definitely think that he would rather a playoff berth than passing Michael Jordan. The Lakers just haven't, like, he's been playing well. The rest of his team, not so much. Also, he kind of wanted like half his team traded as well at the deadline.
Speaking of traded, Antonio Brown.
No, it's not breaking.
No, not breaking yet, but
jeez.
Soon to be.
Yeah, so we can talk a bit about Brown.
In the minute and a half we have left.
Yeah. So he was gonna. He obviously announced a trade request. He announced it in an Instagram video saying that he wanted out of Pittsburgh, like we discussed in previous weeks. The Steelers have said that they expect to move Brown by Friday, and they're asking teams for their best offers. I saw that the Jets and the Cardinals are out. I discussed that the Jets were kind of interested in Brown last week or a couple weeks ago, but they are now out of the sweepstakes. Apparently the Broncos do not have interest anymore. The 49ers, who seem to be the favorite, they have not spoken to the Steelers about a trade, which is really surprising to me because they were the favorites. They were expected to land him. Now I saw rumors that the Raiders, the Titans, and the Redskins are interested in him. I don't think Brown would want to go to any of those teams, but like the Steelers have to get rid of him. I don't think he'll play. Like even if they don't trade him, they'll probably hold out. Brown will hold out. I don't think he'll be playing with the Steelers. Friday, tomorrow, the Steelers expect to trade Brown, but they will not trade him if they do not get a good return. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'm sure Zach and Jackson will talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, listen to Finch and Farrow. They wanted on the show today too.
They did?
Yeah, I think we'll have them on next week.
Next week for sure.
I think that's confirmed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is our show. That's literally all we have time for. Tyler, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
we gave
thanks a
you
lot.
like 15 seconds to shout out whatever you want to shout out. As he gets
He doesn't have anything to shout.
as
He
he
doesn't
gets his
post
music
on
set
his
up.
Instagram.
No, just shout out to you guys. Congrats on the show. It's a great show. I'm really happy to be on. This is really fun, and I look forward to tuning in next week and listening to what you guys have to say.
Thank you.
Well,
It was a lot of fun having you on. Yeah, maybe we'll try and get you on later on as well. Yeah, so we're gonna say bye now. We're gonna play some music, and yeah, so thanks for joining us, Tyler. I appreciate it. I'm gonna call you in a few minutes. Just gotta play some music, and
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, see you in a bit.
Thanks. See ya.
All right, so
That was a great show.
SS Live episode number 4, third episode being uploaded to YouTube, and yeah, it was a great show. We had Tyler. He was an amazing guest. Great interview with him.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. We're gonna be uploading this episode hopefully tonight, and yeah, that's really it. And we're gonna play the Leafs victory song.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.